You have guessed it already. We're going to be talking about everything XRP with you guys. Thank you for all your support, from the bottom of my heart. You guys are amazing. Let's take a closer look and really understand, what's happening. I'm going to start off with this update, but before we do that, let's just briefly take a look at what's happening with the market. So once again, over the last 1 hour, the market has seen quite a big bounce, and that is quite interesting right now. Crow token literally sending right now, and I'm sure if you watch my update, you guys know what's going on with that. But the broader market is also up right now. We did close the daily candle on a positive note, not exactly at $112,000 in terms of the daily close, but we are making some move right now, and you can really see how the market is reacting to that. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So let's watch this update. Let's watch this video and come back and really discuss what this really means. I'm going to share my personal thoughts with you guys.
Price targets for end of year for Ethereum and the S&P 500 and your logic for those two.
Yeah, I think Ethereum, in the near term, 5,500 should be happening in the next couple of weeks. But by the end of the year, I think it should be closer to 10 to 12,000 for ETH. But it's because, most of the move in crypto does come in the fourth quarter. So if you're up 35% year to date, well, if you're going to be up 200%, it's going to all happen in the next few months.
So as we could see, our good old friend Tom Lee has a very bullish, prediction on Ethereum. Of course, it makes sense because, he is the CEO of Bitmine, and Bitmine is the largest treasury company that's holding ETH in their treasury. And, his projections right now are, at the end of the year, he's projecting a $10,000 Ethereum coin per coin, $10,000 to $12,000. And I know you guys are probably scratching your heads right now. Crypto ZX, where does XRP come into the picture? I want you guys to remember, we're speculating. We're kind of basing it off of, what's really, the meaning of this. And I'm going to share what I pretty much mean based off of this. So remember, currently, where is XRP standing? XRP is the top third coin right now in the cryptocurrency market ranks. I'm sure you guys know that. So let's say Ethereum were to reach $10,000 per coin. That would put roughly, in terms of valuation of, Ethereum, we're looking at, give or take, 1.2 trillion. That's where the valuation should be. And where XRP comes into play is, remember, XRP is the top third coin in the cryptocurrency market ranks. And with the potential of an ETF, that's potentially could get approved. On top of that, a potential rate cut, and let's say XRP remains at the top third spot. I want you guys to take a look at the XRP dominance. XRP dominance right now, meaning out of the entire valuation of the crypto market, XRP makes up about 4.65% as of now, as of August 27th. That's what the dominance consists of. So in terms of 2025, we've come up to the 5.56%. So let's just keep it at 5.5%. Let's say we go up to 5.5% for the dominance. Obviously, if it were to go higher, that's even a better thing. But we're just using, as an example, 5.5% for the dominance. So let's say Ethereum is sitting at the likes of, 1.2 trillion valuation per 10,000 coin. And that would put, give or take, with the current numbers I'm going based off of, that would put the entire market valuation of the crypto space at around $6 trillion. So where does XRP sit with these numbers? Roughly speaking, $67 just based off of if this were to play out. I know people want to see those $300 XRP price points, $100. Guys, come on. We're going to keep it realistic here. We just have to keep it realistic here. And you guys know your boy Crypto ZX, is going to keep it 100% realistic with you guys. $100, of course, who wouldn't love the price of XRP at $100? Everyone would love the price of XRP at $100, but it's not as easy as a lot of people think. I'm not saying, in the future that's not a possibility. Of course, if XRP Ledger, which we're obviously going to get a little bit more into, if XRP Ledger gets to the point where people want it to, never say never. If we see a massive amounts of XRP being burned, especially the ones they carry in their reserve, remember, that could be quite something. But anyhow, that's enough with that. We're going to obviously come back to the price, but do let me know in the comments if you guys agree with the overall, projection. So do you think, based off of what I'm here, crunching my numbers, do you think $6 to $7 makes sense? Potentially, maybe even $8, but double digit would obviously be insane to see, but we'll see what happens based off of the current numbers that I've shared with you guys. That's where the price of XRP should pretty much go if the price of Ethereum were to reach $10,000 this year alone. So Bitcoin jumps back above 111,000 and Ethereum above 4,600 as Whale's wallet continue growing despite volatility, meaning accumulation is still happening no matter the volatility or not. But look at this. Rep Vrenchill had a productive discussion with BIS organization about our work on stablecoins and how they open up another innovative payment choice for consumers. And this is where obviously RLUSD comes into the picture as well, as being one of the big stablecoins that has a regulatory clarity aspect to it. And for organizations that want to use stablecoins, of course they can do that with ease because of course it has that compliance aspect to it. But BlackRock's head of digital asset, Robbie Mitch, says the direction of travel and focus for TradeFi firms are public blockchains. Let that sink in. Public blockchains is where their focus is at. Ripple, HBAR, XLM, QNT, Cardano, Algorand, and the list goes on and on. So, the puzzle pieces, remember, TradeFi and DeFi coming together, and we're seeing hundreds of examples of that pretty much day in, day out. So much happening in such a short span of time. This year of 2025 arguably was the biggest year in terms of big things happening, and yet people still overlook the bigger picture. But again, not on our channel. Look at what Smoke says. A professor of the University of Basel says Ripple has a good chance of replacing parts of the existing financial infrastructure. Let that sink in. With the ISO compliance aspect, of course, with RippleNet, that can get integrated with FedNow. This is where XRP native token really comes into play. Not directly, but indirectly, of course. And, XRP helps banks meet Basel III liquidity requirements by streamlining reserves into one bridge asset. This reduces resilience on, multiple... I'm sorry, not resilience. I was like, what am I saying? This reduces a reliance on multiple, Nostro accounts, cuts FX and treasury cost, and simplifies liquidity management. And of course, this has been documented. So let's take a look at what's happening with the price. So as far as the dominance is concerned, it's still at about 58.23%. Obviously, looking good. As far as the bigger picture is concerned for the dominance, looking good. If you're looking at BTC, let's take a look at it on the hourly time frame. We did push up to 111,600, and of course that has seen the broader market go up with it. And you can see XRP hasn't really reclaimed back above the $3 price point yet, but we're getting very, very close to that. And maybe in the next few hours to come, we go back up to this key range. But XRP's price, guys, come on, you want to look at the way this thing is consolidating, and let's say we were to reach an all-time high of like $6 or $7. We're going to put that into perspective from our all-time highs, official all-time highs, not unofficial. So from official all-time highs, which was just back in July at $3.65. From there on, $6 puts us at 64% increase, and of course $7 puts us at a 91.78% increase from our all-time highs. I'm not measuring it from where we currently are, from there on, which even I think is not out of the blue, and I think we could actually see the price of XRP at these levels if ETF is approved. If we see a rate cut, and if we see multiple rate cuts, one obviously in September and December, I think this is a very strong possibility. I don't want to, obviously, end the party for people that are expecting like crazy price predictions for XRP. That's not going to happen, guys. It's not going to happen this year. We need to really put it into perspective what it takes for an XRP price to reach $10, $20, $30. And, $10 would be very close, of course, from $7, not far off, but we'll see what happens. Could we see a double digit? That would be insane. That would be, I think, the best way to end off this bull market. but we got to take it one step at a time. Do let me know in the comments what you guys personally think. We'll see you later in Crypto ZX and Peace out.